Syntax of the active participle, substantive. So here we have the third use, the third function of participles, the substantive. And here we'll see that it is very similar to what we have with the adjective. The attributive and the substantive use of participles is very similar to the attributive and the substantive use of adjectives. It's the predicate one that's a little different, which we saw in the last module. So let's look at an example first of a substantive adjective, just to refresh our memories. Here we have hatovim. So tov means good, and we have the article here, and we have masculine plural. So this is a substantive. Well, without a context, we can't tell whether it's attributive or substantive, but we'll treat it as a substantive here. This would mean the good men, okay, the good ones. But we know it's men because we have masculine plural ending. So here now is a substantive use of a participle. This is the adjective, this is the participle, both substantive. Shamar, which is our root here, shamar means to guard or to keep. And so this is literally the keepers or the guarders. Hashomarim, the watchmen. So here we have a participle functioning as a substantive. In very similar fashion to what we have here, the adjective functioning as a substantive. Okay, let's look at another couple examples. Hashofet. Shafat means to judge. And so here now we have the judge, the one who judges, literally. But used as a substantive, it would be the judge, masculine singular. Now let's see what we can make of this one here. We have here Yoshvei Yerushalayim. Okay, Yerushalayim is Jerusalem, one of the longer words in Hebrew. And here we have Yoshvei. Well, what is going on here? We see the O, Holem Vav, full Holem Vav, so we're tipped off that we're probably dealing with a participle. And if you know your roots, yashav means to sit or to dwell. But what is this here? Why a? Well, what we have here is a participle functioning as a substantive in construct. Because a participle as a substantive is really a noun. It's functioning as a noun, just like substantive adjectives function as a noun. And so it can be in construct form, just like nouns can. So this would be the dwellers or the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So we see here that substantive participles can also be in construct, just like nouns. And again, like nouns, they can do something else. Here we have oivehem. Now oive is our participle, and here we have a pronominal suffix, so it means their enemies. So substantive participles can function in the construct state, and they can take pronominal suffixes just like nouns. And one last example. Here we have ohev. Ahav means to love, and so this here in the masculine singular is either lover or friend, where the lover or friend is a male, singular male. So another use, this is a substantive use of the participle without the article, so it doesn't have to be definite. Okay, the last thing I want to say about this is just an aside for those who are familiar with English grammar terminology. If you're not, then you can just stop right here. Don't even worry about this. In Hebrew, when we talk about participles, we're talking about the three uses that we've seen, the attributive, the predicate, and the substantive. In English, when we talk about participles, at least in English grammar usage, participles refers to verbal adjectives as distinct from gerunds, which are verbal nouns. In Hebrew, our term participle refers to both of these together. What's effectively happening here is this verbal noun is really just the substantive use of the participle, which is what we've seen right here in this module. So if you're familiar with English grammar, don't get confused. Gerunds are part of the participial class in Hebrew. That's just the way we talk about them.